All right. Um, so I think the next 2 to 4 years, everything is going to change drastically. Um, AI is like really, really changing the game in the creative industry and in the programming industry and in the tools that we use today. Um, for example, ChatGPL currently gives better answers and better research than Google. And it also does better than Wikipedia. I've done some tests myself, and it's just tends to be more accurate and this tends to be more direct, and you get what you need like faster. So Google makes most of their revenue from from Google search, and most of Google searches are questions. So most of questions will go to AI instead of going to Google search. Eventually, AI could give outbound links and just replace Google altogether. So in like 2 years, it's very likely that Google is not going to be a powerhouse company and it's going to be like extinct. Um, not like extinct. It might die. It might die completely, but they need to figure out how to pivot. Google's in a really bad place. If I am hiring an illustration, for example, let's like look at what we spent on the brand archetype. The brand archetype took us about 2 months, 3 months on everything that we did. We did a lot of changes though, but we could use an AI tool and make the brand archetypes within 2 hours, right? And get 3 different types of illustrations for that amount of time. Same thing what goes with if you were to do music, if you were to write copy, what used to take people 2 weeks to make, they can now do in 5 minutes using these AI tools. And so there's two choices. We can be an agency that says, well, we don't support AI and we don't like it because it's competing with like the artisan work and we just do handmade stuff, right? It's like the industry revolution. A lot of people didn't support machinery because machinery did replace a lot of jobs. They're like, no, we're gonna be like shoesmith and we're gonna do everything by hand, right? And now like how many shoesmith jobs exist, right? Not many. So we can either be the people that fight against this, or we can be the company that embraces it. And the company that embraces it means that we become the experts, thought runners on AI. That means that like we know about how these illustration tools work. We know about how ChatGPL works. We know about how like there's AI decks that like provoke contents for making pitch decks and all that stuff. And we are like the thought leaders and all that. So that when companies need work, we go to them and then we tell them, well, we can provide for you these solutions. We use all of these tools at hand because AI is basically going to threaten every single job that's on the computer. Every single job that's on the computer, AI was going to compete against. Um, so, since our job is right now on the computer, we should be using AI. So I think the next steps for us as a company is Ariana like starts playing out with these AI illustration tools, right? Alejandra starts playing around with ChatGPL and also the pitch deck AI tools, right? Any type of deck presentations, deck templates, any type of things. Vanessa works on the animation, looking up any type of animation, audio AI, and those type of things, like video, you know. And basically we need to just like get on top of it because it's no longer a thing that we can avoid. They're too good. They're too good. And if we become a company, I want it to be a company that would fight against it. But if we fight against it, we're gonna commit a suicide by doing it. You can't embrace progress. and it's gonna help us become more productive. And I think the studio needs to be in a place where we have a competitive edge, and the way we have a competitive edge is by using those tools. The way we don't have a competitive edge is by saying that, handmade is better and whatever, and the old method, and we would rather take 3 months to design you something than 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
I agree. This reminds me of my first boss ever in my first designer job.
Mm.
He was he's an illustrator, and he did everything in paper, and he lost a lot of clients because of the time that takes him to
Illustrate.
to have everything in digital. In fact, my job was digitalizing the illustration that
You did.
that he did.
That's
And
hilarious.
he was like 20 years old than me,
Yeah.
older than me. And this reminds me a little bit about like it's better to get updating with the world and learn the new tools and keep learning.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the brand archetypes, I used ChatGPL to write me 31 pages of content for the brand archetypes. That content is not anywhere on the internet. You can't find it on the internet. You can copy and paste whatever, and it's nothing is forged. It's all from ChatGPT.
They are in shock.
I have conflicting emotions because I do agree with this statement. Like, I do agree that it's in some way. I think it. I mean, I think slash know that it has the potential to replace us, like all of us. Like you said, everyone who's behind a computer, or like who's doing any type of digital work. But I don't know, like there's two sides of me. That one is like, okay, of course that you want to get on the wagon, because if not, you're gonna just like be behind. You're gonna stay behind. But then there's other part of me that I actually I don't I don't like
I don't like it. Right.
yeah, I don't like it, and I don't want to, like, part of me doesn't want to be part of this big machine. Like, I don't want to like, I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to, and I don't mean of this the studio like going, like, moving forward. Like, of course I want to do this, but I just don't want to feel like I'm also fitting this whole industry that could take us apart, from like creatives to other creatives, or like people who's just like doing work. And I mean, of course, it's like either dumb or too passionate, like the way that you want to see it, because the example that you said, like there was a lot of people that didn't believe in industry, like industrialism and whatever, and then they were left behind. So I don't want to be, I don't want to stay behind. I don't want to like stop doing design, and I don't want this studio to go south, or those things. But at the same time, I, like, for example, I'm just speaking from like my my true heart, that I don't like the idea of where the world is moving forward with all of this technology and like alterations and like artificial intelligence, all of that. Like, I don't really vibe with it. So it's like,
Yeah. I don't vibe with it either.
I just want to like run to the woods, like I just want to like get away from it. But I do think it's a smart move, and I do think that we need this competitive edge. But it sits heavy. That's
what we could do is we could create another brand that embraces the tools. We could leave like John Luke Studios as the handmade craftsman, and then we could create another brand that does these AI tools, which I think would be fine to do. I think it would be a good idea to do. But I think to just ignore those tools completely and for us to not be, I mean, okay,
Aware.
like BuzzFeed, for example, decided
Yeah.
that they were going to fire some of their staff and replace it with AI tools. And then they're double as valuable since they announced that. That's been 1 month change. They're twice as valuable as they were. And BuzzFeed creates a ton of quizzes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's not like, I mean, the more you learn about what some of these tools can do, they're no longer a joke. They're no longer, I mean, it's just like the idea of, like, imagine if all of your silverware at home was handmade. You know how expensive that your silverware would be? You know?
But yeah.
Exactly. I see it like for example, the fact that we are using Illustrator to create logos. In the past, the people create the logos with a rule and in paper and everything, and now we are doing everything in digital. It's like we just have to learn to use the tools, but we still can put our souls in the things that we make.
Right.
What I am concerned about is like as Alejandro said, every time we use it, we're feeding it. You know, like we are giving it, like, I don't know, we're feeding it. And I do agree with what Vanessa says. Like, we are using different tools, and of course, when we got into the revolution and all that stuff, there were different tools to make the same stuff. But I don't know, a car still needs. Oh wait, no, it doesn't. I was gonna say a car still needs someone to drive it, but no, it doesn't.
With Tesla, no, Tesla self-drive.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm. That's the thing.
I mean,
Like,
you could upgrade it for it to.
as for
Yeah.
yeah,
We're
as
fucking
for
becoming obsolete
exactly. I
as a
don't.
species.
Yeah, I don't like that because following that thought process, then animators wouldn't be necessary, and even actors in cinema, you will just get a random eye to make a person, and that's it.
Well, I
Mm,
think the first things, it's coming in phases. I think the first things that are going to be attacked are the things that are done in the computer.
yeah, of course. I'm just thinking ahead. Um,
But again, they're going to be attacked, but I don't know how much of it is going to be consumer, like direct to consumer stuff. I still think that companies are going to pay agencies to do it. And then, like, we would use these AI tools to make cultivated decks and curate and lead and guide and use our strategy to do so. Right?
yeah, of course, because that can't be replaceable. I was looking at the AI art kind of stuff. I am totally against it, but I can see what kind of like good stuff can come out of it. And I know that the AIs, as for now, they are not as good. Like, sometimes there are hands in faces, or like
Yeah.
things look weird.
But the thing is, like, that's the thing about AI, is that AI learns from the mistakes, and then it's continuously getting better, like, so quickly. The more people use it, the better it gets, the quicker it gets. All that
Exactly.
stuff. The thing is, we can't. I don't see us as a studio being able to say, or just as professionals, to be able to avoid those tools in the future. I think
No,
us
of course.
avoiding those tools in the future is we're going to put ourselves out of the market, and we're going to be less good. To just, like, if your goal is to produce content, and then you have these content machines, and you're gonna, like, you know what, nah, I don't want to use those quantum machines. I'm going to handcraft everything. Like, okay, you're going to do things 150 times slower than the rest of the world,
Of course.
right?
What I'm thinking is to keep it as tools, you know? Like if I put a prompt into an AI art generator and I put like beach with people having fun, and there's still gonna be mistakes, I can still work on top of that, like as a base, as in a sketch, quote unquote. Like what I'm
I
thinking
mean,
is,
I Mhm.
no, what I'm thinking is just keeping it as tools as it is, like, because if not, we're gonna be so replaceable. And that's what I'm thinking. Like, why will they ask for a custom illustrator if they can just type whatever and have millions of other illustrators thingies washed up and it's a new thing?
The
New.
reason why people would pay for us versus an AI tool is the story that goes with it. And that's one thing that we need to communicate that story. It doesn't matter how the artist created. It's the story that goes with it. You know.
Then it goes
Yeah.
to our
It's like, for example, if you have a frame with a print from a Google image, maybe it looks good, but it's not the same to have a Google image in your stay room or have a paint art. It's so much better to have a paint art and it doesn't change. Or for example, the
Yet.
what?
Yet.
Yet. Oh, for example, there is some brands like, for example, the boots Dr. Martin. Basically, mostly of the boots are made from machines, but they have a line of boots handmade, and those are more expensive, and everybody wants those, the ones that are handmade. Like, I feel that already happened with a lot of things in the world, but the creativity still is necessary. Okay.
of course.
I mean, of course it is, because I don't think that as the present moment, I don't think the tools are as well advanced. Like it's for sure they're gonna get there, but they're not just there yet. So like, yeah, for now they need to be tools, because they can get the work done, but it's not like foolproof. It's not like perfect to the, well, call
Exactly.
that
I,
perfect, but at some point.
I think
Well,
I think
Chat GPL is already better than any writer you can hire. It's already
Mhm.
better than Wikipedia. It's already better
And it
than
was less than a year, like less than 6 months, I guess.
yeah. Chat GPL is definitely. I mean, it's not 100% accuracy, but neither is a human being, and it's a much
Mhm.
higher percentage of accuracy than any other tool that exists on the planet. It is really insane. I've spent probably about 15-20 hours on ChatGPT the past week.
I think if we're gonna do this, yeah, we have to put like a line, like where we draw the line and where like we don't let that replace us, you know?
It's not, if we're using it, it's not replacing us.
I know. I'm saying like
We're
we
using
should.
it, we're getting ahead of it, and we're becoming the thought leaders in the industry, and that's the thing. The reality is, I mean, there is probably an overall general negative impressions for people who aren't educated on it in the world. So I'm not saying that a homepage is like, we are the AI agency. Right, but but once you can see what those tools can do, and we can provide them, I mean, it is substantially more competitive and just more efficient than anything else. And I mean, I mean, if you just look online and you just see some of the stuff that's already going out that people are releasing, and you'll see like the illustrations, some of the stuff, some of the renderings of buildings and stuff that they've done for like Nike, whatever, and other photo shoots are like really amazing. I don't like saying that myself, right? I don't like to say that computers are doing it better than humans, you know. So, but yeah, I think there's I don't think we should be ignorant of these tools. I think that it's something that we all need to be on top of it, and we can't choose to fight it. There's so we should be aware of all the tools that we're on specializing in. Like Ariana, you like because the way you use those tools and how efficient you use the tools, what you tell the prompt and how you get the messages and how you feed it and whatever, those are the skill sets that we really need to learn so that like each of us are experts in our own AI tools.
You know, I just realized that you can also tell your clients and stuff. We can use AI tools. I can use it as a tool more than a replacement. I can use it as a base, which will cut my time in half like a lot. But I just realized that what you can't do with AI, at least yet, is the consistency of let's say a comic. Like the characters all have this just have the same consistency, or if you want like all of your portraits of your coworkers to be the same, you know, that type of consistency
I
they don't
think,
have yet.
well, I don't know. You have to look into it, but I'm pretty sure that you can upload an image into AI and say, this is the type of style that I want to do, these type of characters. But
Yeah,
I
I
think,
guess you can get it, but it's just that you need to learn how to communicate with it, like precisely and like efficiently. Because if you ramble and whatever, like you're not gonna get it. But if you know how to communicate with the tool, like you can get pretty much anything. Like you can say, give me the same idea, like written in 15 different ways, and then you don't use like the fucking letter E, and it's gonna do it. You just don't need to learn the language of the tool, and that's it.
Can we use that also for the logo? But is that ethical?
Good question. I guess
there's
so.
there was an article that came out about how AI redesigned the world leaders as villains. And it's like really cool. And it gave me this idea that we could do that with the brand archetypes. Like we could assign a famous person for each of the brand archetypes and have AI design it. Which would be like a really interesting like deck that could be made and sold. So
Yeah, but we have to make it ours, you know?
we that's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, when AI creates it, I mean, it's you're the one that's behind the computer. You're the one that generated that content with using those tools.
Yeah,
It's
but not yours.
they created it for you. You're the one behind the machine. If you go and you use a coffee machine and make a coffee, the machine made your coffee, but you can drink it. It's yours.
No, 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 of course. I'm saying like because if we're gonna take like let's say we have a logo designed by AI, we can just take that logo and give it to the client and have the money. I don't think that's
Why
either
not?
ethical or
What can't we do then?
creative.
Think that
You
Ariana,
can.
think that right now in these days, there's a lot of people who thinks that what you do is not art because you are doing everything in digital.
I know, but
It's like it's like I don't know, like different
even
generations.
even with logos, like you can use like certain font pairings and then do customize it accordingly or whatever. Like you could there's shortcuts and things, right?
of course, but if you type logo of tree bark with this type of avatar like um a word mark, and it appears and you don't change anything about it and you give it to the client, is that okay?
Like, wouldn't it be? Like, realistically speaking.
Because
you
you didn't even
On Illustrator
you didn't even
and you sell that as a logo, is that okay?
of course, because you have the mouse and you do the movements and you think about the
You did writing.
You had the mouse and you typed in the movement for
Yeah, also there the value in there is the idea that you are putting in there. The idea of the bark, the idea of the tree, the idea of the avatar font, that is the idea from your creativity.
I think, I mean, Ariana, I don't love this either. I don't love this either, okay? But there is like, I think a key element in 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 uh, in what we need to do as like thought leaders and just as marketing leaders and branding leaders is to understand the trends of the world as they are starting and as they're growing so that we can get ahead of that and we can lead our clients there and we can help them out. And
no.
and the
Yeah.
reality is if somebody wants a 20-page website and they want us to write the content, we're like, yeah, we can help you write the content. We could use Chat GPL and customize it accordingly. And no, that won't take us a month to do. We can literally do that in a week and a half. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. For the other part, we can do that. We can cut our working hours. We can win more money doing that. We can have more time for ourselves and still do what we want without gaining money from it. We, I mean, in my case, I can do AI. How do you say AI?
Uh-huh.
I can do AI art. I'm still pretty much against it, but I can do it. We can cut our hours in half. Instead of working 8 hours each day, we can work 4 and gain the same amount of money or even more. And the other 4 hours, I can draw by hand. I can still do it now that I think of it. Like I don't have to illustrate by hand in order to have them at my job.
We're not telling you to stop drawing by hand.
I know. I'm
We're
just
not saying that you're gonna get replaced. Like,
I'm not telling you that we're gonna get replaced, but the thing is, the easiest way for us to get replaced is by us to choose to not use
exactly.
it.
ignore it.
That's
Not be aware.
What
so.
I'm
If we learn and we become thought leaders and we can become ahead of it, and we're like, look, we know how to use these tools better than everybody else. We're a small company. We have the time. We've already learned these tools. We've mastered these tools. And then other agencies that don't know how to use the tools as good as us can go to us or whatever and be like, yeah, we're on top of this.
Yeah, I was
Like-
thinking, I was looking at the bright side. Vanessa loves to, I don't know, Alejandra loves to do editorial. She can do a book for herself, and she doesn't have to gain money from it because she's already gaining money from the AI, and she's already cutting her work hours and having more free time to do what she wants. You know? Like I'm trying to see the bright side into it, and the bright side is that we cut our hours, we do more money, we do stuff, and then we have all the time to do whatever we want.
I think one of the bright sides is that most agencies are not going to accept this as a main tools for another year or 2 years because it takes a long time for big companies to make big decisions like this.
Mm-hmm.
And if we get on top of this, then we have a 2 years where we're ahead of the game. We accept these tools, we master these tools. We're ahead of the game, and we could be an authority on this. And it'll be much more difficult for us to be replaced if we're on top of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, most computer jobs, like a good 50% of computer jobs will be replaced by AI. There's no doubt. But the people who are leveraging and using AI and who are extremely productive and efficient shit, somebody's got to hand stuff to the client. Somebody's going to have to curate and communicate it. And
Yeah,
so, but yeah, there's going to be a big cut. I mean, a lot of other companies are already doing it. Like some of the smartest companies on the planet are already doing it. And so yeah, so it's good that we don't really avoid it.
Yeah. And we don't have to fire people because we are so little. We actually needed to hire more people. Now we don't. If we keep with this AI stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I hate this. I'm agreeing to it, but I hate it.
All right. Any other thoughts?
I want to cry.
I'm gonna stop.